Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Centre Circle podcast, episode 60.
60,
So
yeah, 60.
He's not here, but Binz is going to keep me honest on
I will keep you on track.
keep me on track. Today we've got a special guest alongside myself and Adrian, Kevin, who's a friend of the pod. Say hello, Kevin.
Hi everyone.
Kevin's just going to join us to talk through the weekend's game and also give a unique perspective. So following on from having the secret scout on last week, who he talked to us through some of his thoughts around the youth game and the academy setup, etc. Kevin has a unique perspective as his son has successfully navigated and is still navigating academy football. So we thought it'd be good to get him in and hear some of his thoughts. He's also a Liverpool fan, so he's
You had to put that in there.
yeah. So he's got some thoughts on this weekend's games. Speaking of which, we'll start with the North London derby, the important North London derby, which ended Spurs 2, Arsenal 3. Kevin, you were there, right?
Yeah, I was at the game. Arsenal have really become this really annoying side. I'll be totally honest with you.
Why are they annoying?
Like I've been trying to tell people. I don't know if you guys remember Chelsea under Jose's first tenure.
Yeah.
Like anytime Liverpool used to play them, there used to be no space on the pitch. I feel like that's how Arsenal are. Like in transition, Rice, Partey. I think while I was at the game, I was with my son, and I said, it was about 20 minutes. I said, I bet you Spurs do not have a shot on target until the second half. I don't think they did.
Mm.
Can check the stats.
Just
I
wide.
don't think they did.
I think, none on target. I think 6 efforts, but they were all wide. I think.
Yeah.
Or just off the mark.
They block everything. They head everything away. And they just become this really annoying team
And everyone's really tactically disciplined, right?
100%.
Without the ball, especially, when Partey plays. So Jorginho does the same job, but Partey's just a little bit more dynamic. So when Partey plays now, and we've got the three of them, him, Rice, Odegaard. So that central bit, and Odegaard does the yards, right? He's not just silky with the ball. And then the wingers as well. You have to do your bit, otherwise you're not playing.
Yeah.
So it's so organised. And again, it reminds me a little bit of when I saw Pep's Bayern play live when they came to Emirates and dismantled us. Whenever they lost the ball, it was like, when you're playing FIFA or Pro, you press the tactics button for defense.
Yeah.
It was
That's
just
exactly
like,
right. That is a great description.
Talk about triggers. Now everyone talks about triggers. No, we've lost the ball, and then the discipline to get back in shape is just fantastic.
But for me, it's not only getting back in shape. Sometimes they're like, all right, we press now. Because they haven't got full control of the ball. So sometimes it's not about dropping back in shape. Sometimes they're like, all right, they haven't got the ball under full control. 4 or 5 of us hunt it. So yeah, it makes a big difference.
I'll be honest, there's some things like, I'll be honest, I've not gone to loads of games live this season. I've watched quite a few on TV and that. I remember you said this to me before. There's some things when you go to the live games that you just see different.
100%.
Like Thomas Partey. Like, you don't see him, but when you go to the game, you see him.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like Odegaard, security guard.
Yeah.
And
Close
then-
protection.
And then you've got Declan Rice there. You probably call him now I'm being disrespectful because I think Partey and Rice, they're both dynamic. But Rice can do the security guard thing as well
100%.
and play.
And we've also got someone else in midfield now who commands respect to the ball. So before, I felt like, in that piece where, someone in the defence has got it, or whoever's playing the six has got it, it's Odegaard every time. There are times now where Rice is like, no, I'm the option. Give me the ball. I'm the option, right? He's now going to progress the ball. He's going to make those choices. And he's not collecting the ball just to then run it onto Odegaard. No, he's collecting the ball to now progress us in that next phase. So now we've got a couple of options.
Yeah.
So whilst he does it in a different way to Odegaard, when we get in those late Odegaard substitutions, there's still someone else on the pitch who can still move us forward, right, rather than a sideways piece. So yeah, it was a good performance. I agree with you, Partey. And I know it's fashionable to talk about people taking the ball on the half turn or whatever, but the way he receives the ball and uses it, like, is his what
Yeah,
that's
when
his high
when he's
level.
up to speed.
Yeah, no matter what situation he's in, no matter how tight it is, the bit that went viral from the last game where he's let the ball go.
I don't
Have you
think I
seen
saw
that? He's
no.
dummied someone. The ball's. I can't remember who passed him the ball.
I
yes.
think he did that today, you know.
Did he do it
Dummy
again
it
today?
again.
I think he did that today.
Someone's passing
I
the
think he
ball
did
at
on
decent
Madison
He just
speed.
today.
stepped back. Yeah.
Yeah, he had the awareness to know that it actually was for Rice, and he's just dummied it. And the defender just got sucked in.
Yeah.
Oh yes, no,
The
I did
attacking
see
players
that.
got
I did
sucked
see
in.
that.
Yeah.
But that epitomizes how he's always aware, he's always knows what he's doing. And there's a couple of times today where if his body shape's not correct or he doesn't react in the right way, he loses the ball.
So why has he not been playing? Has he been injured or?
I think they just managed him.
Just
I
managing
think they brought him back quickly. Then he got another muscular injury,
Mm.
and I think this time they're just like, you know what, we're going to take our time and build you up. And I think what Arteta's done from last season is a little bit more rotation.
Yes.
And he said, all right, I'm going to hold out because everyone was crying for Tomiyasu to come back, and he said, no.
Mm.
I'm giving him. He pretty much gave him a month off from when he came back from the Asian Cup.
Okay.
What I will say though is if you saw his first few minutes after he came back from injury,
Ugarte.
Oh,
Horrible.
there was a few stray passes. He tried to do a couple of those passes he does when he breaks the line, and it was like, yeah, maybe not. So I did think, are you being frozen out a little bit? But yeah, I think to been said, it was one is injury management, and two, they've probably seen him. Maybe he's a bit rusty in training as well, or whatever. So we'll just get you up for the big games.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it's supposed to be, right? Him kind of holding that spot as a number one, and then Jorginho's supposed to kind of be not the fill-in, but he can't play 2 games in succession apparently. We're told. So yeah, but I mean, Tottenham had a lot of the ball, right, in the first half. There was a first half phase where they had a lot of the ball, but I don't want to say there wasn't intent because they had a couple of chances, but it just didn't seem. It's not that they didn't have belief, but it's almost like we're going to keep the ball and we're going to try things, and if they come off, then rather than actually knowing exactly how they were going to penetrate, exactly how they know they were going to get in, and exactly how they were going to create a chance.
and as you raised that point, it kind of brought up I was thinking about sequence passing. It's like we're going to go out, we're going to come back in, we're going to go. But there's no one who's going to say, all right, let me try to do something a little bit different that's going to catch Arsenal off guard. It would most probably be Maddison.
Yeah.
It wasn't his strongest game today, but everyone else is like, all right, we'll go wide light. And that's what you saw with Werner today. Like, Werner didn't try to do anything to kind of stretch Ben White. He just said, I'm going to keep on doing the same routine, trying to go down the outside. And I think Arsenal did say, have it wide. We don't mind you having it wide today.
And then
I feel like what annoyed me with Spurs today is the fact that I don't think Arsenal had to do anything and they were 3-0 up.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
I honestly don't think Arsenal got out of
Second.
third gear. If you compare it to like what we watched, no, Chelsea are not that great. But compare it to what we watched and saw Arsenal do against Chelsea to what they was doing against Tottenham. That's why I kind of thought that this was Arsenal's game plan. Just let Spurs have it.
Yeah.
And then we just
Hit them.
punish you on the break. But Ben Davies inverted.
You're
playing against Saka.
You know what it's like? It's like when Kieran had to do inverted.
Yeah.
It was just like, this doesn't suit you, man. This is not your
I
game.
didn't get that. I'm not
Yeah.
managing it.
And it's
I
that
didn't
kind
get
of fashionable thing. Let's make the fullbacks invert. But when I saw the lineup and I saw, the left back's not on. What's his
Udogie, yeah.
Udogie. Yeah, I was like, that's
That would have been interesting.
He's a
battle,
player.
man.
He's a player. Yeah, he's physical and he's good technically on the ball as well. So I was like, he's not playing. Oh, phew.
Yeah,
And when I saw Ben, I was smiling. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, he's out for the rest of the season. But I guess in those games, you got to take your chances, right? So Romero, well before in first half, at least one of those chances he should have been. Right?
Yeah.
Facts.
So when you get those in a game like that, yes, you're the home team, but the quality is kind of making you play that way. You've got to take your chances. So they're super guilty of not giving themselves a bit of breathing space or making that possession count. And then, like you say, we're 3-0 up relatively sharply, right? Holberg, own goal, fine. The quality of the delivery, all that stuff, cool.
Yeah.
But then Saka's finish,
That was
quality.
a really good goal.
It's like defending is not the best. You don't let Saka come in on his left foot. Or make it as hard as you can. It didn't look that hard for him because even the touch to bring it to left foot wasn't that great.
Yeah.
It was just a little bit
I
easy.
don't even think the finish from where I was,
It didn't look great.
finish.
Have
I was from,
you seen the replay of
That's
it?
not gonna go in, is it?
Have you seen the replay of
Went
it?
in.
Nowhere near.
No.
What
I've
do
not
you
seen
see
the
replay of
replay.
it? He didn't hit as clean as I thought.
Yeah, the keeper's
So
nowhere near.
it's either a super accurate good finish or they just really weren't really at it. And then again, Kai Havertz had a poor marking from a set piece. So that's first half. Second half comes along now. And again, we start well. A couple of poor decisions, I think, in the final third from Arsenal to get us up to 4-0. And then Tottenham start getting back in the game. Spurs start getting back in the game. Romero gets one back. And I think, if I remember correctly, that's around the 70th minute, 65, 70th minute.
Yeah.
And I just think, but it's 3-1. I remember a commentary they were saying, these are the kind of games last year that messed Arsenal up. You know, we were 2-0 up at Liverpool. We were 2-0 up at West Ham. And I just thought, here we go. But they were managing it. I think we were managing it. We created some more chances. And then Declan Rice, I don't know what he's doing.
He didn't seem to be blindside. It was a blind. It came from the blind side. He went to volley. It was
a
blind. It was
penalty,
blind.
definitely.
But you know, like we've all kicked ball, yeah. You know, that swing didn't even look like the kind of swing you would do if you were going to volley the ball.
But
It just looked like it was like, no,
I think
I've
it
not
was a bit,
seen him. I'm kicking out.
Yeah.
It was a bit mad.
think
And then
it's
the
a bit-
referee waved play on. I couldn't believe he didn't even show
and he was right next to it as well. But I think for us, it was a bit of for Arsenal, should I say, a bit of anxiety, a bit of nerves because we've been in this position and North London derby as well. That's a lot of emotions. We're 3-0 up and we're like, right, we didn't even have to come out second gear. I think part of that also was to do with we played against Chelsea, so we played 2 games. Tottenham's been off for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
They had fresh legs, like they could run it. So I think that was managing us through the game. I do feel that he could have brought off Kai Havertz and brought on Jesus a bit earlier just to give us a bit more up front. Because I think Kai was a bit tired. He looked a bit leggy
But
today.
his physical presence was needed today, especially with Ramiro. You know what he does running around.
I thought Havertz was alright.
Yeah.
No, I thought he played good. No, don't get me wrong.
yeah.
But I thought there could have been a change for him because physically I could see him dropping off a little bit. But again, we mentioned it last week. Kai turned up again today. Like he set up one and scored. And
Yeah, I don't think we can have much talk for Kai.
No.
At all.
Time, you know.
And Postecoglou, he brought on Sarr, tried to change things up. I think that helped a little bit.
I'm gonna be totally honest. When I saw Spurs' lineup,
Yeah.
I just thought you're not gonna go machine for machine.
Yeah.
Arsenal's midfield with
Højbjerg.
Bentancur.
Højbjerg,
Yeah.
Bentancur, and Maddison.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do that on Football Manager. Like,
But he wanted the physicality with Højbjerg, didn't he? That's what he wanted.
But he ain't got
no,
the
but
legs.
you've
to-
got Sarr.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
Sarr. Like me personally, I would have played Basuma,
Yeah.
Sarr, and Bentancur.
Yeah.
And I would have put Maddison on the left
Mm.
and just made sure that
The midfield
the
free match.
midfielders can match.
Yeah.
We can like
And you can give
Run,
Odegaard
we
some.
can-
Yeah. To your
in
point,
duels.
he's got his 2 security guards.
exactly
Take them out, and then someone
Yeah.
else can be physical on Odegaard. Yeah. And Basuma and Sarr can play with the ball as well.
Yeah.
No, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes managers do this thing, and it's easy for me to say sit at home, but from the outside looking in, it just looks like you try to play too much chess. You try to anticipate what other manager was going to do. Try to play a bit too much chess, and they end up bringing them on later. And actually, some of those players slot in and do what they can do, and then they started to cause some of the issues that we saw. But apart from, again, they've come back to 3-2, but it's not because of any
Magic or
fantastic
brilliance.
attacking player, any magic. So Arsenal,
I still think Arsenal were quite comfortable.
yeah.
Yeah, even though it
agree.
was 3-2, I think
So
Yeah.
that
Arsenal
leaves the
comfortable.
table. Arsenal top, played 35 games, 80 points. Manchester City went away to Nottingham Forest today and got a 2-0 victory. I mean, Nottingham Forest are fighting for their lives, but Chris Wood didn't feel like he wanted to do anything about that after missing his 2 or 3 chances.
Yeah.
There was one that was so criminal. I think it might have been 0-0 at that point, and 1-0.
Yeah. It was
It was
0-0.
0-0.
It was
He
0-0.
rolled it to him across the box. And he's just fluffed his life. He's on the 6-yard box.
Yeah.
I can't tell the last time I've seen a striker who's playing against Manchester City get a ball to his feet on the 6-yard box against City.
Yeah.
I can't tell the last time.
Yeah.
He fluffed his line.
I was listening on the radio. Was that the one that it was the first minute? I think they had a chance within the first
Yeah,
minute.
this was
that
much
was-
later. So he had 2 chances before that he should have scored.
Yeah.
And then this was like the hat trick of chances. And I remember looking at it thinking, I can't tell you the last time I've seen a striker in that position against this team. And he's fluffed his line, totally fluffed his lines. And I'm thinking, Awani must be looking at it thinking, I would have buried that. And then, of course, what happens? Not too long after.
Big man came on, didn't he?
Yeah, big man came on, but not too long after Vardio scored. And then they bring off Haaland off the bench. And he takes the centre back for a little run and finishes with his right foot bottom corner. Didn't look like much of a League 2 player at that point, but or League 1 or whatever Roy Keane said.
I think League 1.
Yeah, I think he said League 1.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch that.
So I thought Forest might. They're fighting for their lives. They're 1 point above Luton. I thought, okay, these are the games in the past where we thought Man City are going to go steamroll someone, and they put up a fight, and they Nuno tried to get them to take it to them, but you got to finish your chances.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they would have won, but it puts a different pressure on City.
Make a game of it, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But they were getting joy. We'll just set up the 5 at the back, the 2 wing backs. We'll get joy. Is it Nico Williams?
Yeah.
Nico Williams, and then the left wing back Anina.
Oh, Ola Aina, yeah. He was at Torino, no?
Yeah, Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea then Torino.
He was getting joy down there. I think the system threw off City quite a bit. So then he took off Doku.
Yes.
And brought in Kovacic.
Yeah. And then took
kind
off Grealish and put on Haaland,
Yeah, and it just kind of, but Grealish got injured by he came off. And then it made it comfy. It was an easy game for City overall, but Forest did try and make a go of it, to be fair.
And then to kind of complete the trio, Liverpool.
Do we have to?
Yeah, we do, mate. So,
Okay.
I mean, we could have a sensible conversation. Some of our other Liverpool friends are, we can. But there's been a rival fan thing where we've been saying, look, Liverpool are winning games, etc. But they don't, if you watch them, they're not controlling games. They're not looking as good as the results would suggest. There was a little bit of rival fan hating there, but it was almost like at some point this is going to come home to roost, right? I didn't think it would be this bad, I'll be honest. I'll be lying if I thought City were going to pull away and then the Liverpool and Arsenal would just be scrapping in case City slipped up. So what do you think is the key? What do you think might not be one thing, but what do you think, if you had to sum it up, has been missing in the last few games? Is it just poor finishing, or you playing poor overall?
Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think it's mental.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's mental, to be honest with you. Obviously, your luck's going to run out when, I don't know if you've got the stat, when anytime we play, the other team takes the lead.
Yeah.
And then we're always trying to claw ourselves back. Your luck's going to run out.
Yeah.
Of course. But I feel like it was just a dramatic shift change when we drew 2-2 at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Because obviously, as you know, a lot of people have highlighted it, we don't win at Old Trafford. Mental.
Yeah.
Because we should have smashed that Man United.
He was all over them.
But with football, a lot of the times is like, sometimes when there's a game like, I don't know, Man U could play Tranmere away,
Yeah.
And then the commentator will say, Man U haven't won at Tranmere for 50 years.
Yeah.
Tranmere beat them.
Yeah.
It's all in there. So I feel like that's what's happened to Liverpool.
And it's also mental for the opponents because they want to maintain that record almost. So there's an extra level of motivation.
We've just had a hangover since then. And then obviously we're going to have to wait for the documentary, but surely something has happened behind the scenes, not trying to make excuses. And then the wheels have just fallen off because the Atlanta game, it was horrid.
Yeah, that was, I mean, as I said to you, they made Skibaka look like some prime top level striker. This is the guy that couldn't get minutes at West Ham. He was, and I was like, I said, wow. And this is when all the VVDs back to his best and all that kind of stuff. And I'm saying, well, one, he's not. And two, if you watch the game to watch the game, not to try and prove a point, you could definitely see where Liverpool are getting by on quality of individual players or, specific moments, etc., rather than an overall control of the game.
I couldn't tell you the last time off my head that Liverpool played well.
No.
And I'm a Liverpool fan now. I don't know if you guys can.
No, I can't think of a game where I said, they controlled it. You could see what they were doing. Yeah. You said, it's been all individual brilliance. Trent's come on, he's done. Yeah. He scored a winner setup.
Diaz has been carrying us.
Diaz.
Salah gets a goal here and there.
McAllister.
McAllister, I nearly said Mac 10 there.
Yeah. Going the phrase. So, look, it's an easy one to ask now, right? It's easy to say it's now. Do you think it was a mistake to announce Klopp's leaving when they did? I understand some of the rationale. It was going to get out anyway.
Don't think so. I'm trying to remember when Sir Alex said he was leaving.
Yeah. Or
I
even
can't remember where Man U were. I'm sure they probably won. Did they win the league?
Did they tell us well before? They did. They told us like January time, didn't
Yeah.
they?
Did they win? I can't remember if
They
they
did
won
win
the
the
league.
league.
They
They won
did.
the
That
league.
was
That's
last
Van Persie's
season. Yeah,
season,
that
no?
was last season.
Because Van Persie signed and didn't know, and he didn't know Fergie was leaving.
Yes, that's it.
Did he find out was leaving? That was Van Persie's season. They won the league. What about the only other time I can think of something like this is when we knew how can I forget his name? Pep Guardiola's predecessor. It's so rude, bro. And he went his West Ham as well.
Pellegrini.
Yeah, Pellegrini. They told us in like January, didn't they?
Yeah.
Pep's coming. And I think the next press conference, he was steaming.
I don't think there was anything wrong with it because as Liverpool fans, we've just done the roller coaster thing, and we've just pushed the narrative that because Klopp's leaving, we're gonna win the league. Okay,
Do the quadruple.
We're gonna do the quadruple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Christmas we had how many points in front were we?
10.
10. You sure?
Yeah. It's been posted up in my groups.
Oh,
Many groups. I think it was 10 points.
Expose that.
Yeah.
But okay, so say we were 10 points clear, yeah? Klopp announced that he's leaving. Okay, we're going to roller coaster it. We're going to win this league by 15 points. And then we've done all right. And then when it's got to the nitty gritty now, we've just totally fallen off. Like, I think individually, I think a lot of players have just gone missing. Like,
and you've had a couple of injuries as well.
Of recent, like Zoboszlai is just.
Yeah, he dropped off. I think he was
just dropped off.
Yeah, post-injury.
Yeah, Zoboszlai. As much as people might hate to say it, Trent's a massive miss.
Yeah.
I'm
to
sorry.
the system.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What he does for you when he's got the ball.
When them on,
in possession.
Defensively.
In
is what it is,
possession.
but in possession. Even some of the things he's done since he's come back.
Yeah. But I think people get onto him about defensive, but I've seen him in one-to-one situations. He's anticipated danger, blocked it, intercepted. I think it's an easy
Mate.
He's an easy target.
criticism.
Yeah.
Remember all the conversations we had when he was going through that spell, and people wanted to blame him for almost every goal that came on the left. But again, if you watch the situation, to watch it, not to prove that Trent was at fault, you could easily pick out 2 or 3 moments in that sequence.
Where it could have been stopped.
It's going to come on to that, yeah. So I think sometimes with football, and I'm sure we're all guilty here, we always pick on what
one
person's not good at.
Yeah.
Okay, Trent's not the greatest of defenders. So what?
Yeah.
But what he does going forward is world class.
Yeah.
End of.
And it's for the manager to make it to work with a trade-off and pick out stuff. But again, very rare. Well, put it this way: he's not great at defending, but have we seen more individual errors from him than on average for other defenders at his level? And I think someone might struggle to find that.
Yeah, that's true.
Someone might struggle to find that. All right, so title race now. It's a 2-horse race.
Sorry.
It's a 2-horse race now. The title race.
But so we got to go back a little bit
we're
though.
not out of it, though, are we?
What?
We got to go back one little bit though. Kind of touching on what you were saying about there's something going on in the background because the Salah and Klopp. But then the other thing, and I think you've hit something on the head. Because when you look at it, he's dropped Konate as well.
Yeah, he's injured.
No, he's just been playing badly.
I don't think he has. I think
he's
when we faced each other, I mean, what was it, a draw?
Yes, I want to say so.
That game was like centre-back's performance. Like if you was teaching a centre-back to play, both sides, VVD, Konate, Saliba and Gabriel, they were like perfect in that game.
Yeah.
And he just dropped him and not even allowed him to kind of play himself back into form. He just dropped him. And even though, what's the new kid? What's his name again?
Kwanzaa.
He's been all right, but because of his age, you can see the small mistakes. He's been good, but he's made small errors.
I didn't really like people getting onto him for the Man United game where I think he played the pass across the pitch and Fernandes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say he's young, but kind of...
Yeah.
He's not young, But
His inexperience.
His inexperience
Yeah.
is probably the correct
Yeah.
word. If you're going to play a centre back that's inexperienced in the Premier League, he's going to get punished.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
And he's young for a centre back.
Mm,
Yeah, he's young.
definitely,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's young for a centre back. No, it's true.
But then
But yeah, that Salah Klopp thing, it's interesting because I've always found Mo Salah a little bit arrogant, right? Which I don't think is a bad thing because, again, he seems quiet. But when I've seen him do interviews, I remember once he took a penalty in a game. I think it was like the winning penalty or something, and it was 88th minute or whatever. And the journalist has asked him, bit of a template question, but he's asked him, look, really important penalty last minute, and Mo Salah was like, taking a penalty in Champions League final, this wasn't going to be a problem, basically. I'll never forget that. I was like,
Chesty.
I said, oh, okay, all right, Mo. So he does strike me as a cat. If he's got something to say, he will say it. But to do it there, and it almost to the point where other players felt the need to tell him, like relax, like, where are we? I'd be really interested to understand what would have flared that. And we're not going to see that documentary. If they go on his sense, that's getting edited, right? We're not going to get that much insight on that, trust me.
But then what he said afterwards as well to
Yeah,
the media
but
when he walked through, he goes, if I talk, it's
Yeah.
gonna
But
be
have you
fine.
seen it though? Have you seen the video?
No, I
I
haven't
heard
seen
it. It wasn't as, when it's written, it looks a lot spicier than it is.
Yeah.
When you watch the video,
Yeah.
he was kind of laughing like, listen, if I talk today, it will be fire. And I think that's more about his teammates and the way the team played rather than Klopp specifically.
Yeah.
Because he's...
I didn't watch, I only watched the highlights.
Mm.
I'll be honest with you. I don't like being negative Nelly, but I didn't ever think we was going to win that game.
I said that
Never.
I knew that game was a tricky game for you though.
Yeah.
Yeah, away at West Ham.
I don't
yeah.
like, I don't know about you guys when Arsenal, I don't like West Ham Stadium. Anytime you watch it,
Yeah.
it's like,
It's a funny
their
stadium.
pitches look tiny.
And West Ham are not predictable. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you could argue, well, that's the case for everyone that's not in the top four, right?
Mhm.
But you really, really don't know which West Ham's going to turn up. They're almost as Jekyll as Hyde as Brighton right now.
Yeah.
1 week is 4-0 beating. Next week they're going to slap. Kudus is going to do something
Yeah.
crazy and slap the goal in. So yeah, I don't like going to West Ham, especially after last season and all that kind of stuff. But I did think you guys would deal with them. I did think you guys would deal with them. And then Salah doesn't start, and he loves scoring against West Ham. So then he doesn't start. So then I'm like, oh, okay.
Who knows?
Something could be possible here. And yeah, after a loss, then this draw, I would have to say I think you guys are out of it.
Listen, until we're mathematically out of it, I'm not going to agree with you, but common sense would state that we're no longer in it.
I mean, if I look at the table, right?
I think we got
points.
75
You got 75 points.
Yeah.
and Arsenal got
80.
80.
There's 3 games left. Right? So yes, it's possible. City are 34 games, 79 points. So they got a game in hand on both of us. So they still got 4 games to play. You're out of the race, man. You're out of the race, bruv. Sorry, you're out of the race. And then if you look at the bottom, obviously Forest didn't do themselves any favours today, but if they looked at the fixture list, they weren't planning on getting any points against City. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. Luton, unfortunately, lost yesterday, 25 points. Obviously, Sheffield United have been confirmed relegated.
Yeah.
So at the moment, we've got a pretty decent relegation battle as well. Burnley have clawed themselves back into it. They've decided to turn up quite remarkably. So I might have to eat my words about company, I've said in the last few pods. But we've now got Burnley 19, 35 games, 24 points. Luton 18th, 35 games, 25 points. And then Forest 35 games, 26 points. It's as tight as it gets. As tight as it gets. No one can afford to lose, and they're all going to lose again. All of them.
Yeah. I think Burnley probably go down though.
Yeah, I think so. Let me look at their fixtures. I think it's fixed based on fixtures. But if I look at Burnley's fixtures, they've got Newcastle, Spurs, and Forest. Yeah. I mean,
It's going to be last game of the season, isn't it?
yeah. But that was going to be a serious game. And if Burnley get 2 points out of those 2 games, I'll be shocked.
Where's the Newcastle game?
At Burnley.
Might beat Newcastle. You know?
Yeah.
The way Isak's running around now,
Yeah, but the thing is,
The
what are
rest
they
of the
playing for?
team, their back line.
Yeah, what are they playing for?
can they still get Champions League? No, they
I
can't.
don't think so.
But my understanding was yesterday, 'cause obviously I didn't see the game, in the first half an hour, Sheffield United should have been 3-0 up.
Yeah, they should have been.
Yeah, watching the highlights, yeah.
Yeah,
Should have
yeah,
been
some
3-0 up.
chances.
Yeah, I saw that, but they should have been 3-0 up. And to be fair, you got to give Wilder a little credit because he has put a bit of grit in their performance now. Like, technically, the players aren't going to be the best, and football IQ is not the highest, but they're giving it a go, and they.
Not to laugh. Did you see that own goal? It's only because you said football IQ.
Yeah. I was like, when I saw, I was like, what are you doing?
Let me not say.
You almost needed to
Like
put
a
the music
bump.
over it.
Yeah,
the
or
Academy
something
music.
like.
It was just unbelievable. And then they got Spurs away.
Who've got Spurs?
Burnley got Spurs
Yeah.
away, second to
No,
last
they're
game of
not
the
winning
season. And then
Yeah,
Nottingham Forest
they
at
might
home.
get a
though.
result though.
Where?
Spurs.
Spurs away.
And the reason being, because Spurs plays expansive. They're quite open.
If Spurs have
They
still
might.
mathematically got a chance to get Champions League that day, Burnley, like at that point, Burnley are not beating Spurs.
Yeah.
Then
I hear
Luton-
what you're saying, but when Spurs attack, no,
crumbles.
this. Yeah.
Luton have got Everton at home, West Ham away, and Fulham at home.
Everton at home.
West Ham away.
And Everton already confirmed they've survived, right?
Mm.
So what are they playing for?
Everton are just one of those annoying teams.
Yeah, they'll go there and and roll over.
Yeah.
Or Ashley Young will get himself sent off. And then Forest have got Sheffield United away.
That their next game,
Yep. For Chelsea at home,
3 points. They win that.
and then Burnley away.
Forest could win all 3 games. You know?
It's in their hands.
Now, how many points have they been deducted or going to be deducted?
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
they're
is that
appealing.
sorted? That's
No,
not
they
sorted,
appealed
is
it.
They appealed it last
They're
week.
putting an appeal.
Oh yes, they've put in an appeal to go from 4 points to 3 points. So actually, as I read this table now, I should probably read it as Forest have got 23 points. That's how I should read it. And in that case,
Tricky.
they would go 19th, and Luton would be the ones that are above the relegation line.
I think everyone probably wants Luton to stay up, though, isn't
Yeah,
it? Like
they-
they're
yeah.
kind of like everyone's sort of neutral
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
The
Play
manager
attacking
speaks
football.
well, but
I wouldn't mind Forest staying up, to be honest.
I probably prefer Forest. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Me too.
wouldn't mind Forest staying
They've
up.
got
The
better
players
quality
they've
players.
got,
New manager.
Nuno's, again,
Mm.
Nuno's okay manager. And another year, let's see who they buy. People like Owani and stuff. He's done all right in the Prem. Then they can start stepping away from the Chris Woods of this world.
Yeah. No, to be fair, the recruitment for them is not that bad.
He's not hasn't been dire, has it?
No, it's not been that bad. They just bought like loads of.
And in the Prem,
in
if you've got a few holes, then then that's it. And then, those are the 2 big answers. Man United, I think, have mathematically, well, this is what's been going around on the internet, mathematically cannot make the Champions League, which doesn't make sense. There's 4 games left. They've got 4 games left. They are 13 points behind Villa. So in theory they could. But it's not happening.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just waiting for that because you wrote Liverpool off. Mathematically, we could still win the league.
And then Spurs have got 2 games in hand on Villa and are 7 points behind. So actually, it's not in their hands anymore. They need Villa to drop points.
I think Villa are going to get that spot. I think they deserve it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they Emery and the way they play, and even though they've been a bit Jekyll and Hyde, it'll be good to see him. And he loves cup competition, Emery. A European one as well.
He doesn't play the type of football I like or anything like that, but he's a very disrespected manager though.
I agree.
Yeah.
Very disrespectful.
And I think he's a great example of in football, once a narrative is formed about you, you can't move away from it.
He's just a clone of Rafa Benitez. That's what I think.
What, you think of the younger, slimmer Benitez? No, but Benitez had more personality though.
You think? No, Rafa was dry,
No,
man.
because even when Rafa got angry, bro, we got the press conference.
Yeah.
But Emery's never doing that. Never.
He could though.
Couple of
You never
tables
know.
and mugs will get smashed in his office, but he's not doing that. Even on the sideline, and I don't know. I just think whilst Rafa pretended like he was this quite calm, studious, no, nah, man. All of that fell off with the facts thing, and then after that, he just started to really show that all I care about is winning. That's it.
Yeah.
But managerially, I can see why you'd say that. I can see why you'd say that. Is there an accusation that can be leveled at him that he sets his teams up well, they're tactically astute, etc. But when he gets to a certain point, they crumble a little bit?
Give an example. What do you mean?
So I'm not surprised that they did really well. And when it came to certain games this season, I mean, we've had some horrible results. They've lost 3-0, 4-0, etc. And then again, maybe this is a narrative I've formed, but it just feels like, especially when it comes to league performances, you look at all these teams, they just never seem to be able to consistently push through.
Like, anytime I see Villa, they remind me of like a team like when the spotlight's on them, they crumble. So I can look at it from that aspect and understand what you're saying, but I think they've just quietly just been in the top four
for quite some
while. There's
while.
been a title race, everyone's focusing on that, but they've just been there nicking results. And now you've just said the table. What, Spurs are 7 points behind?
Yep. 2 games
and they've got, how many games Villa got left? 3.
That's it.
No one's really saying much about it. But for me, Villa getting the Champions League is a big thing.
And he's actually done some good job of individual players. Obviously, Watkins is a number, but he hasn't been afraid to look at Bailey. Like, he's improved Bailey massively.
Yeah,
massively.
And when the RB came, he went straight in the team basically. And I thought, that's it, Bailey's out. But no, he's packed the team away. Bailey came back, worked his way back in the team, and has been great. And then any drop off, like the RB starts. Like, he's done a great job there.
And then he's also brought in the youngster, is it Rodgers?
Yeah.
He's doing his thing.
And he let Rodgers play.
Even
Now.
the left back, he brought Moreno. I think he throws out, what's the guy that got from Everton?
Lucas
Digne. And then again, he's come back in the team. So that's a man that uses his squad. We're talking about Arteta that doesn't really trust everyone in his squad.
Emery,
bruv. Tielemans wasn't playing initially. Now he's playing. Do you know what I mean?
He's up to speed.
So yeah, he's using his squad well.
Look what he's done with McGinn.
Bruv,
McGinn doesn't.
No, I respect John McGinn.
McGinn doesn't look like a footballer.
No, I respect John McGinn.
No, I respect it.
Yeah, because he
No, McGinn can ball, man.
Yeah, okay.
No,
We said he's
McGinn
turning
can
into a
ball.
pit bull. He doesn't kick ball that much now.
No, I think he's a player.
No, I think he's all right. I think
I wouldn't want him at Liverpool. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Watching Villa, you're like,
well, it's easy
this
to look
guy's
at John
alright,
McGinn
man.
and just think he's some old school destroyer, but he's not.
No, he's not. He can play football.
Yeah,
he can play football.
Yeah. The counter to my point, someone could say as well, Emery's never, apart from PSG, he's never had a team that's been of the technical level where they can be as, because if you're that consistent and push it the way through, I mean, they've won 20 games. So you can be like, John, how much more consistent do you want them to be? Because then they'll be in the title race, if that's the case. So I guess that's the difference. That's the shortfall. And then I look at the Chelsea game, and some of the chances, there's some of the chances they had. Those are the ones you can't miss. Those are the ones where it matters. You look at it in the season, Watkins had the one that came across the box and he scattered.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Those are the kind of little things where you argue, one of the top teams, their striker buries that. Or not.
Yeah.
Liverpool's case. But,
That was a good shot.
Or if that fell to Jesus, in my team, I'd rather that falls to Trossard.
Jesus would have passed that.
Yeah, that's true. Or you would have chopped the defender.
Yeah.
Joker. So yeah, and then I guess in the middle, it's all a bit bunched up. Bournemouth on 48 points at 10th. Chelsea on 48 points, but they've got 2 games in hand and everyone around them. West Ham on 49. Then Newcastle on 53. Manchester United on 54. There's this thing that's been going around. Everyone's been saying to Man United fans, if Chelsea catch you. I mean, let's see. Because Europa now is 6th and 7th, isn't it?
Yes.
No, it's 5th.
So, what? So then the Prem.
The coefficient thing.
Yeah, they're not going to.
Very unlikely because Germany are well ahead now.
Okay.
So yeah, Germany are well ahead. So they're saying it's really, really unlikely that England get it. So I think
that's Arsenal's fault.
Is Europa.
Is that not Arsenal's fault?
Just Arsenal's fault. Just there was no other English teams in Europe.
I only asked.
It's partly Arsenal's fault.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. All right. Partly Arsenal's fault. All right, cool. So yeah, I think it's taking shape. We've had another weekend and we're no closer to. I don't think the story's changed. I think Man City are still the favourites. They got a game in hand. They win that game in hand. And when all is equal, they're top. They win that game in hand. So we're still sitting in the same place as Man City's to lose.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But
and we're going to be Tottenham
Arsenal have done
fans.
what they can, put the pressure on, right?
Okay. No, I'm just asking because you guys are Arsenal fans. and I'm sure you laughed at Liverpool fans, gave us corn when we was putting pressure on City.
What do you mean?
99 points. What was it? 99 points, 97 points, 92 points. Yeah, and we won nothing.
Yeah, but the difference is you're looking at two Arsenal fans that if he doesn't win the league by the end of next season, I think he needs to move on.
Arteta.
I think that if we get to the next season,
yeah,
and I've said it a few times on this pod, I don't think you get from where we were back to the top in a couple of managers. If you do, you've struck gold. Yeah, you don't do that journey back in 2 managers. And I think at the end of next season, and we'll make more progress and we'll sign more players, but if we've not won the league, Champions League is Champions League, right? That can't be an expectation. I think both of them need to look at me like, do I need to move on from you? So from Arteta's point of view...
What do you mean both?
So Arteta and Arsenal.
Oh, okay.
Right? So from Arteta's point of view, at that point, do I need to go to a club where the resources are at a level where me spending what I need to spend isn't a special... Like, Arsenal can't spend 200 million every year infinitely. We're not Real Madrid or any of these clubs. Also, it's a bit more of an established squad. There's less of me doing growth and all of that. I'm going to have 3 or 4 really established Champions League players, and then I'm doing the rest. So then he can then execute what he wants to execute, and he's starting from a slightly higher place. Or Arsenal say, right, you've taken us this far. Let me go and get someone who's further on in their journey, because this is his first managerial job. Or Edu thinks, not my job's on the line, and this project needs to succeed. And he does that thing that sometimes people get to the point of doing, and like, right, I'm going to ring the phone of one of the 30 guys, whoever that is next year.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me. Because if you're Arteta next year and Barcelona will come calling, what, you're not going to leave? You're not going to think about it?
That's the only place I was thinking, possibly. But...
And bro, Bayern, any of them, think about it.
Yeah, his stock's very high. So.
Yeah, his stock's high. And the tools you got to start with there, and that's before you even pick up the phone and take a couple of people from the club you just left.
Yeah, true.
It won't surprise me. If you don't win the Premier League this year or next year, it won't surprise me if you left next summer. It won't surprise me at all. That's 6 years, bro.
I think we could be relying on you guys to break this dominance, though.
Possibly.
The City dominance.
Yeah, possibly.
We might, the likelihood is Liverpool have a little bit of a fall off next season. So hopefully we don't.
I really want to say it for banter, but where you're bringing that structure back with the recruitment and all of that.
Okay, yeah.
And if this guy that's coming in from Feyenoord, I can't remember his name.
Arnie Slot.
Arnie Slot, yes, thank you. If he's tactically aware and astute and, he's not suffering from a mismanaged organisation, it might not, you might not be knocking on the door, but it might not be dropping out as bad as Man United. Maybe you're still top 4 and all of that. But it has the potential to do that when you lose someone like Klopp. But I think with the structure you're bringing back in, with the director of football at FSG level, and then someone in the club, etc., I think that might mitigate some of that.
Fingers crossed. I've got hope anyway.
Boy, it'd be fantastic.
I don't mind change.
Yeah, I say all the time on this pod, them not kill me. Like when the whole Gary O'Neill Bournemouth thing, when he kept Bournemouth up,
okay,
and he came out and said, thanks, but we want to. He's like, that's out of order. I said, no, it's not. It's your club.
Yeah, that's
you've invested.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because we got this thing in football where if you get fired, you must be this bad. No, I'm just moving on to something different or better.
Done the same.
Thank you. I said the same. And they were like, "What's the Bournemouth gonna? Who's this guy? Who is he? He's come from Spain. Who is he?
I think they've got the most points since this calendar year.
Yeah. They're basically like top 3 or something. Like, yeah. And everyone was giving it, who is he? I said, I don't know who he is, but it's not my job to know who he is.
Definitely.
Let's see. You don't make those kind of decisions because it costs them money to. Well, actually, it was probably on a contract at the end of the season. Just relax. Look now. I even had a bet on. I had a bet with someone that Bournemouth were going to get 40 points. That's how bad it was. Sorry, Ed. They were like, they're not going to get. No, I said Ed, brother. You're not going to get 40 points. And I said, okay, put money on it. Because, again, when you've invested a lot of money in a business, etc., you're trying to think 3 years, 5 years. They'd have done a due diligence. Yeah. This guy's all right. I didn't know much about him and his football. And then, look now. And O'Neill's doing well at Wolves.
Someone's gonna come grab the Bournemouth
100%.
manager and take Solanke with him.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's why, on the Arteta thing, I won't be surprised. And then now Man United are getting their house in order, proper football grade
Man
structure.
U are gonna be.
So
trust
again,
me.
if it's not next season, the season after,
Yeah.
Because they've got money to spend. They've got
and then they got the
And then
right
I think
people.
structure.
we still got. What you guys don't think Newcastle will be a?
It depends who they replace Ashworth with. I'm waiting to see that first.
I forgot he's going.
Yeah. That stuff matters.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Matters.
That Ashworth,
He's done
he's
it.
the truth.
Yeah.
And Wilcox.
Yeah. You got both of them there.
Yeah.
You look at some of the signings they made. Isak. These are players that had been rumoured for years to be joining top teams, and then for some reason they didn't bite. Newcastle did. Gordon again. People thought he blew hot and cold at Everton, but he was highly thought of as a prospect. They said, right, we'll just do it now. Pay the money and do it now. Chelsea wanted him at the time as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
That money's looking cheap now.
Yeah.
Exactly. That 50 million was looking whatever. Now, if you want to take him out there.
It's 100.
So they did good recruitment. Bruno, all of that stuff. What's his name at the back? Botman. Again, everyone was talking about him for ages. No one made the step. Took him now. So if you want to take him out there, you're paying big money. So his work, you can see his work.
Yeah.
So and I can see why they're doing their best to block that move.
I think is he trying to take them soon?
He's taken to arbitration, yeah. Because that whole gardening leave thing is tricky. But so yeah, when they replace him, then I'll tell you my opinion.
Fair enough.
It depends who it is. And that's if people don't start circling in the summer. I won't be surprised if certain Newcastle players
Isak,
getting, bro.
Someone's gonna come in.
They're gonna want 100 million for him. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy, 100,
I
110.
was saying that maybe the pyramid might be Isak goes somewhere, Solanke goes Newcastle.
True. But who's gonna, apart from Chelsea, who would pay that money for him?
So you're saying Isak's gonna be 100?
100 minimum.
Arsenal.
Minimum.
You think Arsenal will pay 100?
We've done it now.
Arsenal,
We've
I
done
think
it.
Arsenal pay it.
We've done it.
No, but Rice was different though. Rice was
In
different.
terms of what?
He's the way his CV read, if you were Edu going into the board, you could be like, right, Premier League appearances, boom, 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 boom. England starter, blah, 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 blah. Played at this tournament, that tournament, all this stuff. If you're going in and making a business case to buy Isak for 100 and something mil, it's the potential thing. Look, I mean, he scored a lot of goals in the Premier this season.
Yeah.
Some people might talk about his injury record, etc. I'm not saying I wouldn't be surprised if we did it, but I think Chelsea, that's a calm. You want 100 million, 110 million. There you go.
Yeah.
Or Man United if they wanted him.
You don't go to Chelsea though.
Yeah.
You don't.
I
Money
don't-
talks.
I don't-
Money talks.
Money does talk, but Chelsea's whole thing's back line.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
I don't-
another story.
Man United would pay for it. Would pay for him.
I'm not going there.
But again, if you're Isak and the money's there, you go, bro.
You don't think he's on big money at Newcastle though?
I think he
So
goes,
you don't think Man United would up that? You don't think he goes to Man United?
Oh, 100. They're
Yeah,
probably
that's
double
what I'm
it. Yeah,
saying.
obviously.
and with United, he knows he can buy the players to make them title challengers again.
Mm.
And it's
Because
United.
they've never felt to spend money.
No.
And United, it's still United. Like, especially if you're someone, wherever you grew up in the world, blah, 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 at this point, and you're the guy that's going to go there and score the goals and battle with Hoyland, he's going, bro. I think if United came in and Newcastle, yeah, he's going. He would go.
I get what you're saying.
You see what
Especially
I'm
if
saying?
Ashworth goes there as well.
Exactly. All right, cool. So as I said earlier, one of the reasons we wanted Kevin to join us today is that, he has a unique perspective. Your son has been in the academy system since he was, 8 years old?
8 years old, yeah.
And he recently turned professional.
Yeah.
So you've literally done the whole...
On his
The whole-
17th birthday, yeah.
Yep, he turned professional. Congrats.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
man.
And
Thank you.
congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats to the whole family and to your son. I've seen from the outside
That's
the
me.
stress and the journey. So I guess, again, we kind of spoke to Secret Scout last week and he talked to us about a couple of players he knew and he'd seen and we asked him a few questions around the progression of academy football because there was a time where, but let's be honest, the footballing world didn't really rate England's style of play or the coaching that came out of here or generally the standard of English players. We weren't seeing them be snapped up by the biggest clubs. There were a few stars here and there, but by and large, our Premier League teams were filled with foreign players. Right? English players weren't getting the starts, etc. We had coaches complaining. and the biggest teams on the continent weren't coming after English talent at a younger age. We weren't seeing like the kind of moves that Sancho was doing or Bellingham, etc. So I guess, 9 years being in and around the academy system and seeing things. I guess, how has the academy set up and thinking, if it has changed in the years you've seen it, both on and off the pitch? So what they, how they're thinking on it in terms of how it plays, but also off the pitch, how they look after players, how regimented it is, or has it basically been the same?
Well, I can only talk on like my experiences and what I've sort of seen. So my son started in the academy so you like train at development centres from like at under 8s, and then you kind of go around to different clubs, and then they sort of select the best boys that they like. Some kids have an option of maybe going to one club A, club B, club C, then you just pick the club that you want to go to, and so forth.
And at that age, are you signed? So to your point, I see kids that go to Chelsea for training, or they go to Arsenal for training. By that age, are you signed? So he's a Tottenham, he's a Spurs player, he's a Chelsea player, he's an Arsenal player.
So clubs start looking at players from like under 7. Yeah, and I think development centres start from like under 7 to under 8.
Yeah.
And then clubs sign players at the end of the under 8 season.
Yeah.
And then they then sign their contract and then play for their academy from under 9s.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So you might see kids go to, and I must admit I was guilty as well. And I even apologized to my son the other day about it. Like, you might go to Chelsea on a Monday, development centre. If you've been invited in, of course, you still got to get scouted in the grassroots club. Chelsea on a Monday, then you might go Arsenal Development Centre on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Then you might go Charlton on a Friday.
Yeah.
Then you might go to your grassroots training on a Saturday. And then obviously play the grassroots game on a Sunday.
And obviously the motivation there is these are opportunities, you can't miss any.
You think, the thing is, as a parent, you think you're gonna miss out. So
you're gonna miss out, or your kid's gonna miss out, or both.
Both, because end of the day, when they're that young, you're not. I probably use the term. You're kind of lost within it, isn't it? So you hear all these names, like a scout gives you a card. Oh yeah, come down here, come down. You're like, oh my gosh, this, that, and the other. But you've just got to stay so headstrong. But the majority of parents, we get lost within, lost in the sauce is probably the best way to say it. Yeah. And then obviously from that, you end up taking your kid all around London.
Yeah, because Jamie Redknapp was saying, or Harry Redknapp, or Paul Merson, one of them, was saying, now, if you're not playing 100 hours of football a month, like, your child's not going to make it. That's what, but I'm just saying, that's the easy
arbitrary things, man.
The thing is, probably it might come on like a question a bit later, but I don't think there is a golden number or rule. Like, everyone is different. Some kids can just be talented. And that's that.
Yeah.
There might be another kid that has to maybe put 100 hours in to get to where they need to get to. And that's that. There's no golden rule, but obviously, because Instagram and that stuff weren't really around when my son was that age. So, because Instagram's around now, parents are following that coach, this coach, they're seeing this, and it must be, I can't imagine how it must feel to be a parent at that young age and was a game, like let's say for example, Sunday, they play the matches on a Sunday. By Sunday afternoon, you can probably see all these under 9 kids' goals that Sunday afternoon. Everyone's posted, my son scored a hat-trick, my son scored this. I can't imagine what it's like possibly being a parent at a grassroots club, because it's all in your face now, and you probably want to get your child there. So
then you start, and you get into the race as well. You start Instagram, and you start
getting lost in the sauce.
And
stuff like that. So it's just a major sort of knock-on effect. But back to sort of the question
What's
you
changed
asked,
over
yeah.
years, yeah.
My son's going through. Now, let me just say one thing. As a parent, before you even enter that system, you think you know. But I'm telling you, you don't know. I swear, you don't know. I thought I knew football.
Yeah.
You don't know football. When it comes to like
But when you say you
football
don't know
development,
football,
you don't know football development. You might know football, like we've just spoke about
yeah.
football, but you don't know about football development.
And that's you're talking about the coaching and developing a
The
player to
coaching
what they
and
need to be.
developing
What
like
about
a
navigating? Because like anything, that's a whole world in itself. Like the football academy world. So what about that? Navigating the relationships, the politics, the nuances. Again, all of that you will never know because you weren't in it before.
Oh, trust me. So if I give you some examples, so I'd say me, I thought I knew football. Yeah. So I remember it might have been like under 9s, under 10s.
Yeah.
Formation was 6. It was 6v6 football.
Yeah, that's right.
And they used to put my kid at the back. And I was like, I don't want my child to be a defender.
Yeah.
What? Who wants their child to be a defender?
That's it.
So busy me, message the coach and say, look, I don't really want my child playing at the like I want my child to be like on the wing or a striker or this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Coach is thinking,
Okay, no problem. So they moved him
Yep.
and put him there. Yeah. It was only like years later that you start building like a relationship with some of the coaches.
Yeah.
And then they just basically explained that we used to put your child at the back because the back half players get the most touches and the most development.
But you weren't seeing
especially
that.
at that level of the game.
But I thought I knew better, isn't it? I don't want my child there.
You thought you was trying to nurture a Raquel.
Okay, yeah, exactly that. That's who. They're the players I used to enjoy it. So I'm like, why don't I want my child at the back? So again, I'm just using an example like you think you know, but you don't know. I'm there trying to take on a coach that has probably done this for 15 to 20 years, can see a like a player. Now we might need to develop that player this way.
And this way. Yeah.
I'm daddy thinking, I've watched Raquel, I've watched Guti, and all these type of players, and I think I know what I'm saying, but you don't. So what I would say is like, as parents, trust the coaches.
Yeah.
It can be tough sometimes because you might see them make decisions and this, that, and the other, but they know better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't ask questions. In life, you've got to ask questions, but just trust the coaches. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I look back now and think, I always wanted my son to be a midfielder. Fortunately for me, he does play midfield now.
For those of us that know you, that is not a surprise.
Yeah, but he's had to play in his academy. He's had to play every position. Again, you might not understand that as a parent. You might come in one week, your son's at the back.
Yeah.
What? Next week he's a striker. What? Like, okay. Like, what is my son James Milner?
The utility man.
But it's all for a purpose. And then the other thing that some might not get, like it was proper foreign to me, is kids not passing.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen that.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've taken my friend's son
like
when he can't go to academy.
Some they just say, look, take the player on, shoot, take the player on, also don't pass.
The coaches told the kids not to pass.
Yeah, don't pass.
Even from the throw ones, they just run out. They don't even throw it.
Don't pass.
Serious?
Yeah, I swear to you.
Wow.
But
for that player's development.
Yeah, but it's all for like, because you asked the question about changes in it. Like I thought academy football, you just see 8-year-olds, defender passes it there, then passes it there, passes it there, passes it, passes. But how do you then develop
all the different...
a dribbler?
Yeah.
If you're telling him pass at 8
and
years old.
we'd moan about England midfielders not retaining in tight spaces.
Yeah. But what you got to understand, the game has to look quite messy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I mean? But your parent, taking your child to football training 3 times a week, yeah.
Mhm.
Sunday comes, and then you see these 8-year-olds dribbling off the pitch sometimes, or crashing into each other,
Yeah.
or ignoring the pass. And then sometimes I've had family members come,
Yeah.
you take your child 3 times a week, and then this is what you're watching on the weekend. But it's all for
The reason.
a reason,
Mm.
and then go. But it's hard getting through that messy middle part.
And that leads me nicely to my next point about, well, actually, first, just to close that off. So I guess in summary then, would you say, in that kind of 9 years to your son going pro, the academy set up, you've not seen it change? Like a lot of the changes people talk about had already happened? Or the style of football's changed? What have you seen? Because that's a long time, right?
What I think I would say from what I've seen is there's more onus on attacking football.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like there's some kids that you see in academy football,
Mm.
and you're like, wow. Like,
Yeah.
how do you do that? How do you? It's like I remember the first time I ever watched a video of Jude Bellingham,
Yeah.
and you're like, is this kid actually English? Sancho. I remember seeing like Sancho. So as I was going back to like these kids, you can clearly see have been nurtured to just play. Just play. It's not pass to him, pass to this, pass to that, pass to that. And then obviously you can see how that's been developed at the under 21s won.
Yeah.
The Euros won it.
Yeah.
Under 17s won the World Cup back in the day. Under 19s won, was it the Euros or the World Cup? So whatever the academies are doing,
we're seeing it now.
We're seeing it. Like I'm a believer. This is just me, but I think academy football should possibly start from about under 11, under 12s. But then they can counteract that and say, but Phil Foden signed for Man City, I think, like under 8s, under 9s.
Yeah.
So is it wrong to sign them from under 8s, under 9s?
I don't think it's wrong to sign them. I just think it just depends what they're doing once they're in there.
Yeah. Is it? Because the biggest thing for me is like, because funny enough, Secret Scout said last week, 14 to 16 is like for him the fundamental years of development of a player.
Yeah,
and that's where they need a lot of looking after and pushing and encouragement, etc. And I remember years ago in my college, I had a Fulham coach, and he's against the under 8 signing. He was against it because he was saying, well, you got Lewis and John. Lewis at 8, faster, stronger, but then John just comes from nowhere at 16 and matches him. Now he's smarter than him, stronger than him, faster than him.
I was just gonna come on to that. It's like, see, in this journey that I've seen, it's like there's a kid that could have been signed similar to what you said, under 9s, get to like under 14s, 15s, and then some kid just comes off the park. Probably maybe only trained twice a week. Goes in on trial, scores a hat-trick, then scores another hat-trick. Then by the time you know it, they've signed him, and then that kid's maybe got to find a new position in the team or
another club.
Or another club. He's on the bench. So, as a parent, I think one of the hardest things with the academy journey is that you could put all the hours in and end up with nothing. You've got to accept that. Yeah. Like, I remember having conversations with you back in the day, like telling you, like, I was a bit ignorant sometimes in terms of like the academy game was 4 quarters of 20. And so it's 80 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember this.
But sometimes you might go and play Cardiff away.
Yeah.
Cardiff away is like a 3.5 hour drive, you know? So wait, I'm going to drive 3.5 hours for 80 minutes. And then your kid's got to probably come off in one of them quarters, you know?
Yeah.
So
you might play 40
for
minutes.
60 minutes, or you might only play 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Nah, the maths is not adding up here. Nah, you got to get on the minibus. You get what I mean? But these are all the little things, though, you've got to be prepared to do as a parent, to sacrifice. That's why, like, any parent or any kid that I see sign a professional contract or a scholarship or do anything, I always now look at the parent and think, or parent, guardian, whoever, and think, nah, the graft that you've had to put in,
Get them
I
there.
can't
Yeah.
imagine. But it's difficult to explain until you're maybe in it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of parents have got, maybe their kids are playing grassroots football and this, that, and they want their kid in it, but they might not actually want to do that actual hard graft.
Yeah, the graft,
Like,
Yeah.
One thing that always struck me about you with the conversations is you never seem to be bought in.
Yeah.
So, and I always wonder, did that also help ground your son as well? So you never really seem to buy the hype of, it's this club or it's that
Yeah.
club or it's this. I remember you saying to me, oh yeah, they've got a game in Birmingham on the weekend, but he's not playing. And I'm like, why? It's like, bro, this is happening, that's happening, and they're not willing to do this and do that, so he's not going. And I remember that day thinking, at first I thought, you're a bit mad. Then I clocked and I was like, you're right actually, because then if you get swept up in all of that, and to your point, you get to 15, 16, and then it's all for nothing. And also, there always has to be a bit of reality about this thing. Just because it's a big club or it's a pro club or whatever, let's apply some common sense, right? I can't drive to this place on a Saturday. The
And then
Saturday's
come
done.
back down.
I might have other kids. I've got family stuff to do, whatever. Just because the big club says come running, you don't do that. Like, let's look at this with a little bit of common sense. And I think when it comes to having a child in the academy setup, you and one of my other friends are the only two parents I've kind of met like that. Every other parent I've kind of met, the pride that they talk about, oh, my son's at Chelsea Academy or my son's at Fulham Academy or whatever, it's almost like, yeah, I'm vindicated. But you kind of played it down, and my other friend did the same thing. He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, your son kicks ball. Hear him. Yeah. I'm like, where? Told him in the club. And I looked at him like, oh, he proper kicks ball. And he was like, yeah. So do you think that playing it down or just almost trying to just keep it humble, do you think that helped your son as well?
I think yes and no. The reason I'm gonna say yes and no, is I'm gonna say, let me handle the no first, is that sometimes if you play something down, football's just a game of confidence, self-belief, yeah? So sometimes if you're not bigging stuff up, like to the child, you might not be giving them the full confidence in it. Like,
or what? Or you're not making it important enough.
Yeah, like, do I fully believe this? You fully believe in me, this, that, and the other. So on one hand, I look at it that no, big it up, yeah. But then on the other hand, like you said something earlier, but I'll repeat it again. It's like you can just realize you're doing this, and there might not be nothing at the end. So I control my mindset with it and say it's a hobby. Yeah. It's just a hobby that he really likes doing. And then just to touch on something you're saying about parents, what I found is I might have been guilty of it myself. Yeah, with football, especially academy football as a parent, it's like football academy has different rules to guide by. Yeah. So what I mean by that is I used to drive from my house to the training ground for about an hour. Yeah, about an hour, 3 times a week. Yeah. Would I do that for a geography tutor? Would you do it for a geography tutor?
No.
You're looking for one that's near your house, in the area.
Football? No.
We're going.
We're going.
Yeah.
They put petrol in the cupboard, head down,
Was
motorway.
You're there.
Not a problem.
But was that because you love football?
This is the thing. This is why, like, you've got to kind of you've got to know yourself, isn't it?
Because even with you, Adrian, you love football. Like, we play football. So, as people that love football, fine. But if you were a parent that didn't love football as much as you do, I don't know, have you met any parents over the years who don't care less about football
Don't
But
But they're bringing their kid to academy 3 times
Or
a
their
week.
kids good at
No,
it.
but sometimes you've got to look at it and it's like it's what your kid wants to do, isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
The older I got, I realized no, but this is what my child wants to do.
Mm.
Yeah. So, like, if I give you an example, as he got a bit older, like GCSEs, stuff like that. So there was one time where he had a semi-final,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but then he also had a mock exam.
Hmm.
So I've got the honest. He wants to be a footballer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got to try and get him to the semi-finals
Mm.
because that's a big part of his life.
Yeah.
But then I'm half Jamaican, half Nigerian.
Mm-hmm.
The Nigerian household side of me can't be hearing that I'm taking him out of an exam
to play football.
to go and play a class. What are you doing? You get what I'm trying to say? So another thing I'll just say, I've got kind of good people around me. Like
Yeah.
I've met a group of football dads that we will conversate with and we're all on a level and we're all able to discuss things. So I've got a bit of advice from them. So spoke to pastoral team in his school, managed to get him to do his mock. He was the first one.
Yep.
Went and collected him, changed in the car, took it to his game.
Yeah.
Make it work.
Yeah. But behind the scenes, people are just seeing him on the pitch in the semi-final.
Yeah.
You've not had to see that I've probably dropped my daughter to school that morning, dropped him to school, he's done his mock, then might have gone home, maybe had to do a bit of work, then come back to the school, collect him, drop him to the training ground, then go into the reception, log back on the laptop, go and watch the game, then wait for him and come home. So as I was saying earlier, I'm probably not the only one that's having to do that. And then you've probably got parents out there that got siblings. You hear about it, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? When you watch the football documentaries, all that stuff, it's the truth.
Yeah.
Or you got 2 of them. Look at the Bellinghams. You got 2 of them.
It's the
Might be playing
truth,
for 2
man.
different clubs or whatever.
That's what Sterling said as well, isn't it? Like his sister was taking him to some of the training at QPR and everything like that. Like you said, that level of sacrifice all the time. Someone's got to make a sacrifice during that time. With him though, did you ever have to work on his drive, or like you said, he just wanted to be it all the time, or did you have to moments you had to force him to turn up or play?
Do you know what's funny? Unfortunately for him, everyone in my family loves football.
Yeah.
So my cousins and everyone, they kind of laugh because I think what happened, it was one day, he must have been about, I swear he was about 2-3 years old, flicking through the channels. And sometimes I watch Liverpool TV, So I was watching Liverpool TV. A few weeks later, he was sat down watching Ian Rush on Liverpool TV. I don't even watch Ian Rush.
Yeah.
And then so I think just because football's just been around him and, you know, I was always going to try and push him into football as one of his hobbies. And then he kind of just liked it.
Yeah.
He just kind of just liked it. So that side of it I've never really had to
worry about that.
No, I've never really. He's never really said, "Nah, I don't want to go football." To be fair.
So we're going to get to the bit where these are the kind of questions as a parent you're not supposed to answer, but I'm going to ask you them anyway.
Far away.
So was there a point where you've gone to training or you've watched him in a game and you were like, nah, he could make it? Or he could turn pro? Was there that point or have you always just were level-headed and you know what, it's his hobby and if he signs, he signs? Or did you have a dad moment where you're like, nah, my son could make pro, I'm convinced
I
now.
tell you what, football's it's weird, like the academy journey, where he started so young. So like we as parents sometimes we get lost. So under 9s, under 10s is 6v6.
Yeah.
Or 7v7. on the tight pitch.
Yeah.
It's slightly not football.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it goes
The
to
kick around.
yeah, but it's a process, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't have those 8-year-olds
Playing 11
on a big
aside.
11. So it's a process, yeah. Then you get to, I think, jumps to 9v9 at under 11s, 12s.
Yeah.
Then under 13s, it's 11 aside.
Mm.
So as Secret Scout probably said, like 14s to 16s, it's 11 aside football. So you can start judging people. People start going through puberty, growth, and all of that stuff. But from like under 9s to like under 12s, some of the players, like I've seen some players like on them small pitches, like that I think I'll never forget. I think my son was under 11, played West Ham away. Nah, there was this kid. He was tiny. I think 9v9 pitch. It's like, how are you so good? I didn't understand. Like, how are you so good? And like some days you walk away thinking, boy,
that's the
Roy,
standard.
if that's the standard, Roy, I don't know, you know. I don't actually know. But then 2 years later, 11 aside, played him again, and he couldn't handle my son. So it's like the pitch. It's kind of harsh on kids sometimes, but when that pitch gets bigger, the game just changes totally, honestly. Yeah, and it's tough. And then that's when you kind of see the change in like recruitment at academies. You start seeing like athletic players come to fruition. And there might have been a kid that his touch might not have been that great on those tight pitches, but now he's got space and can run. He might go from like bottom of the group to top of the group and stuff like that. So there's been couple. So sorry, let me go back. So when you get to under 14s, it starts to get a bit more competitive. So you play teams more at a national level.
And also, that's the first point. You've seen your son now play full size, 11 aside, and then he's starting to play the game in the format that you know and love.
So, and then like you start to play more northern teams and there's tournaments. And then, because you're quite limited, you only know like the London boys. So you kind of know, everyone knows their competitors in London. Yeah. Then you start to go northern and you start seeing there's another world of ballers over in that side. And those guys they're wired differently.
What
You know what I
mean?
mean?
What
So
sense?
what I mean is like, maybe because like London, I say like all the London boys are quite, skill levels are quite high. Not saying the Northerns are not.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
But they're just wired differently. You can see why like they're just like they're captains at like 15 years old and
the mentality is different.
Swearing, the mentality is different. Swearing at their teammates. They got all the jargon, everything. They're like little men. But again, they're talented. And you're like, I've never seen these guys before. So you might think, okay, cool, my son's, from what I've seen, my son's one of the best in London. But nah, when you get to like 14, 15s and then, wow, you start playing Man United, Man City, Sunderland, West Brom. I think West Brom's probably one of the most underrated academies out there, to be fair. And it's like, it starts to get really, really competitive. And then I must say, I think there's been a couple times I've thought, okay, he's got a chance. So to answer your question, there's been a couple times I thought, he's got a chance. But then kids, they're inconsistent. I could say like, it could be like April, he's got a chance. And then May, something could be going through his life. You don't know. You think, what was I thinking then? But it's just got to do the long journey and just enjoy it. Enjoy it is the main thing, honestly.
So, if we fast forward now, you talked about a bit of how it starts. You talked about the journey from a parent's point of view in terms of the sacrifice. And I think just to put that into perspective, some of those examples you gave there, driving long distances 3 times a week, etc. You've effectively done that for the best part of 10 years.
Yeah.
Alongside working, all normal life stuff, working,
Birthdays.
houses, birthdays.
Yeah.
You said, you got a daughter, so in doing all of that, your partner, everything. So then you fast forward now, and at what point is there a conversation? Do you know how far away of him signing pro did you know that he was going to get a pro? Because I think, again, these are some of the small details. People outside the game, we don't know. But in my head, it's like, do you know? Or is it one day you get an email or they say, can you come to the office, please? And then they tell you and then he signs next week. How did it work in you guys' case?
Yeah, I'm going to answer that question. There's one thing I forgot to answer. Just parents, get car breakdown cover. I was meant to say that, trust me, because the amount of miles you do, like I think, I thought, you know what, doing lots of miles. Let me just get a Corsa. So I got a little 1.2 Corsa. Thought I don't want to put too much petrol in it. Within 18 months, trying to get back from training one day, brought down on the M11.
Mm-hmm.
It was about 10 at night. I don't think we got home till about 2.
Wow.
And I had breakdown cover, but I'm just advising, get breakdown cover. But odds to your question, do you know what happens? It's like you kind of get people talk, isn't it? So you might have a scout who brought your child to the club.
Yeah.
They might be speaking to some of the coaches and they might like drop a little hint and say, he's likely going to be one of the ones that might be offered a professional contract. And then I think I would say the first time he got called to go to like an England training camp, that's when I started to think, he might, or fingers crossed, hopefully get a professional contract. But how it worked with my son is when he was at the end of under 15s, you're offered a scholarship.
Yep.
And your scholarship runs for 2 years.
Okay.
So he was offered...
That kind of takes you from 16 to 18, basically.
16 to 18, yeah. So he was offered a scholarship with a professional contract.
Ah, okay.
As well.
Okay, so he kind of said, you sign for this period of time.
Yeah.
And when you turn to this age, you will be pro.
You will get a professional contract and stuff. So, it was fairly...
And that's not a standard thing, right? So sometimes you can get only a scholarship.
Sometimes you can only get a scholarship. Sometimes you can get a scholarship with a professional
contract built in, effectively.
Attached to it, yeah.
Okay. So he almost had a level of security, I guess. Don't get me wrong, he couldn't just do the first year and do rubbish. But he almost knew that if he did enough to still be at the club for his second year of a scholarship, he would start that year as a pro. Yeah.
So he's in his first year as a scholarship, turned 17, now signed his pro.
Okay. So, done the journey, done all the miles, done all of that. He's now a professional. So he said it's your job to get him to where he wants to be, right?
Yeah.
So and everyone talks about making it, right? So I guess what does making it look like for you? If someone said to you, has your son made it, at what point would you feel comfortable saying yes?
Well, I think it's going to be different for everyone. So it's kind of, I remember I read a quote from, I think it's from, someone tweeted it from Man United, and they said, success is fulfilling your potential. So, and everyone's potential can take them anywhere. So I look at, within football, someone's success can be fulfilling their potential and they might play in the Premier League. Someone else, success might be playing in the Championship. Someone else's success might be playing in League One. So as long as you maximize your potential and that's where it's taken you, for me,
you made it.
That's success. Yeah? But they say making it, you've got to play 100 league games in whatever sort of division you are in before you can say you are a pro, which I do understand, because some of the kids that you do see come through this academy system, they have like one season and they might pro, they might play 30 games, and then sometimes they just don't see them again.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree that, boy, 100 games in whatever league that you're
So that's 3
playing
seasons,
in is
really.
dangerous.
100 games is three seasons, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you turn pro 17, 18, get to 20,
Mm.
that's like any career, really, right? You come out of uni or wherever it is
Yeah,
you're
that's
doing,
what I'm saying.
or
Yeah.
18, you probably be in that profession 2-3 years before you really feel like this is you. And sometimes even then people still pivot
That's
and
what
do
I'm
a left
saying.
or right.
Yeah. So I just think,
and God forbid there's any injury or anything like that that makes you change your mind, right?
yeah.
Touch
So
wood.
I just say fulfilling his potential.
But
And
if we
wherever
asked
his
him,
potential takes him.
what do you think he'd say?
Real
Champions
Madrid,
League,
Real
yeah.
Madrid probably, or something along those lines. But I was thinking, you've got to dream big.
Yeah, of course.
You have to dream big. So if it's Real Madrid, it's Real Madrid. Like anything is possible.
Yeah.
I think someone like, if you might look at Kobe Mainu. Kobe Mainu, I think, was playing under 18s football maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
Now he plays for Manchester United in the Premier League.
And the Champions League. And what? Well, not
Did he
in
play in the
Europe.
Champions League as well?
No, did he play Champions League?
Probably, I think he might have. I think he made an appearance.
No,
you know?
I
I
think
think he just missed it.
Or did he just miss it?
He may have just
I'll
missed
check.
it. You'd have
I'll
to double check.
Yeah, so
Oh, well, forget all of that.
dream
Yeah,
big,
he's
man.
really-
He's played for England.
Yeah.
There
Got
you
man
go.
of the match in his first match.
There you go.
No getting back.
There you go. So again, he's a product of the academy.
Yeah.
So again, the academies, they do as much as they do get negativity, but they're doing something right.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? But and I don't know how. Maybe someone's got to get paid millions of pounds and put a good strategy in place. But how do they do it in a sense that they don't have to release boys and have them
Man
from
United
under
specifically,
nine?
or
No,
just
just the
Premier League
academies,
companies?
the academies in general. Like,
Yeah.
I think
because that might need like not even a football mind, like an actual business strategic mind.
But I think
because
that's
I can't think of another way.
But I think that's a deeper issue, though, isn't it? Because there's things out of your control. Even if you put in the structure, is out of your control. Like in terms of the parents' mentality towards it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if the parents' mentality, you're gonna make it, and then they don't kind of expect or kind of manage a release well, then I don't think you're ever gonna be able to solve that.
No, but you're talking more about making sure the club.
Like how is it done? So say for example, like I've seen some clubs release a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Like what can a 9-year-old have done so wrong in football that
Yeah, and that
you
sounds
couldn't
like,
give him a few years to?
Well, that sounds like more your mistake. You shouldn't have signed him in the first place. Because if you're releasing him at 9, what did you see that is now not there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
true.
it comes to that, the physicality, etc.
9.
And this is where like some people, like you were saying, maybe they should only sign them at 11, but then the counter argument is going to be, well, we signed Phil Foden at 9,
This is what I'm
8,
saying. Yeah.
and look at him now, he's one of the best talents in the world,
Mm.
etc. But that's what I was saying. I don't think the system can protect every children because it depends on the
And
parents.
it's a numbers game at some point, and
Of
it all
course,
the
of
resources
course.
cost.
That's what
the
it is, isn't
training
it?
cost.
Yeah.
But I think later on, that's where they try to do things like homegrown players, etc.
Yeah.
We also have to accept that in this country, anyway, the way football has grown and matured, probably a lot of sports, but definitely football. The commercial element of it comes first. The commercial of it comes first. There's so much at stake now. So whilst the Premier League is the best league in the world, the richest league in the world, etc., then as we're seeing, everyone's driving to make sure they've got the best talents. They can take less risks. You almost have less middle of the road players than we used to.
Mm.
So unless you start getting to a point where the system is fed only, a bit of an American draft system type vibes, or the homegrown thing gets tightened a little bit to the point where you're telling people, match their squad has to have X amount of people in it, which we'll never get to, right?
I don't think so.
I don't even know if that's particularly legal from an employment point of view. Then it just goes back to people only do it when they need to. You know, strapped for cash, or the sustainability rules have meant they can't spend. Or actually, like Arsenal was in a cycle where we weren't that good. We'd bought players that weren't that great. So yeah, Pepe wasn't setting the world alight. So Saka gets a chance in the Europa League match. And then Smith Rowe gets a chance, etc. So I think, I think it's, to your point, if it's going to be league-wide and you want to drive that agenda at the top of your game, then there's got to be stuff put in. Otherwise, you're leaving at the mercy of who's running that club project at that time, what's the manager's attitude towards youth, blah, 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 blah. Because Emery's doing it now. He's showing it now. He's playing youth at Villa. The same guy that gave Saka and Smith Rowe their debuts.
I think there's for clubs, I think at the moment there's quite a bit of money in
Yeah,
exactly.
They look for that 100% profit, don't they?
Yeah. So playing
and
them,
English,
especially English
tax.
ones. Yeah.
Because as you said, I think, like you said, they're investing a lot. Because I look at Crystal Palace, which is near to me. They've invested so much money into the training ground now.
Yeah, their training ground's really nice.
It looks amazing, and I think they're even expanding it even a little bit more and adding some new bits.
Yeah, but they've got no choice. To your point, youth. Well, one, they're not going to compete with signing certain players at certain points in their career. So they either buy them early, like the kid from Blackburn, or they produce their own and sell them on like Zaha, or they make good astute signings like they did with Eze and Elisa, etc. So having that kind of training facility helps promote that. Then they have to do it.
Yeah.
So to my point, those are the kind of people that will still keep promoting youth. But if you're, I don't know, you could argue someone like, again, back to Arteta, we've got youth teams that are doing this, doing that. People are scoring 10 in a game, blah, blah, blah. But he's not in a position where he can gamble.
Yeah, no.
Well, some coaches would.
How can he?
Yeah.
He's in a
every
title
minute
race.
counts. Yeah, every minute counts.
He's in a title race, so it's tough. And then, like, how many? So that kid that's scoring like 6-7 goals a game. So he's 16.
Yeah.
Like, how many 16-year-olds are playing in the Premier League? Got to be a bit realistic.
And you got to be
realistic.
and absolutely special.
And he's doing that against 16-year-olds. And to your point, we put him. Well, he's playing under 18s, but if we put him in the under 21s game, or if he goes to the reserves, you might not see the same level. Yeah,
he deserves a chance, though, I think.
Pardon?
I mean, I think he deserves a chance. Maybe
I mean, I hope he's at least training with the first team now.
He must be.
He scored 10 goals in a match.
I think he scored 7 yesterday.
7.
He scored 7 the other day, and he scored 10 as well in another match.
I think he scored 7 yesterday.
I think he's got 4. Yeah, it's like basically 28 goals in like 10 games.
You know, it reminds me of when I see him playing, and he's tall and like, you know, when these videos of Cherno Samba just killing teams when he was a youth. It's like that. He reminds me of that. He's just one-on-one with the defender, and he just pushes the ball out later, you know, and then he finishes. Easy. So yeah. And I guess looking forward now, you know, now he's pro, it's his job, right? He's found employment.
Yeah.
You know, your son's finding employment at 17, man. Their parents are jealous.
I know.
Taking the housekeeping.
Contributions to the house. So what's important for him now? So you've already touched on, obviously, when he was in the academy, it's, you know, making sure he's there, getting him to training. You know, I'm sure you'll be having conversations with him around his game, etc. Does he get to a point now where your role changes a little bit? Now he's pro. Does your role change a little bit? Or actually, he's pro, but he's still a scholar. So you're still taking him places. You're still going training how many times a week? What?
So, no. So at this moment, he lives in Diggs.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have to take him training. So I could just turn up on a Saturday now.
Yeah.
And watch the games. And then I bring him home. And then he'll go back to Diggs on the Monday.
Yeah.
So my roles kind of change in that instance.
Yeah.
So I've got a bit more free time and stuff. But because I've been doing it so long, it's like I don't have that free time, if that makes any sense. It's like I've just become programmed
to
that. So like I still want to play a bit of football myself. Go down to goals and that. But because I've been going to, it's like when I'm at home, I'm at home now.
Yeah.
And so he's in Diggs. He has to do education twice a week. In regards to my role, I think my voice started waning from him when he was about 15. I think. It started to become like,
ain't that the case for every 15?
Just to start getting the look. You know what I mean? Like,
what are you talking about?
talking about type thing. So, so at this moment in time, everything's kind of done by the club. To be fair, yeah. When I think about it, yeah. Once you sign that scholar, everything's with the club.
And I guess from a wider parenting point of view, it's football is different. It's not just any job. So, you know, your son's fulfilled an ambition and he can start doing what he loves as a job. Or is there even wider things that football will give him now? So sense of independence, you know, how many 17-year-olds will now move out and be living on their own with their friends or whatever as a result of their job? Is that something you hadn't thought about? But actually now it's happening. So actually this is good. This gives him some independence early on.
Yes and no, because I was kind of, I'll be honest, I was kind of worried about him going into digs at first.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, his mum's been on his neck for about a year. So like showing him how to use the washing machine and this and that. So it's kind of like, because his time's been absorbed with certain things like that. I'll be honest, I knew how to use a washing machine from when I was about 12.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But because his life just been absorbed with football, this, that, certain things that he might have should have known from like that age, it's with him is a bit later.
Yeah.
But the past year, now his mum's been on his case, so he's quite independent. Don't get me wrong, there's some things when he comes home, he's 17, he's like, oh, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So, started driving lessons. And then I feel like
the G-Wagon, bro.
I feel like, do you know what? Like also like the academy is good for in regards to like they have team meetings. You've got to get to the gym certain times and stuff like that, and you can't be late.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So
the regiment.
Yeah, so it's
structure.
Showing you, that's correct. It's showing you structure.
Discipline.
Yes, showing you the discipline.
Accountability
and stuff like that. So
as well.
Things like that, and like also like working hard for yourself.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of transferable skills you can have from like being in an academy.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. That you put that into possibly like a corporate world, or you want to become an entrepreneur or something. You can use that.
Yeah.
So you've had to like go somewhere 3 times a week, train, then turn up at the weekend, play a match, put your all in. You use all that energy to maybe put that into creating a business or something. Boy, the world's your oyster.
Yeah.
Funny enough, my friend says that as well. Like about his 2 young kids, they're in like 9 and 10 or under 9s and he said and under 12s. And he says the same thing. He says he keeps on telling them like this is gonna give you the skills for if you don't make it to be set up for life. Like you said, taking that, listening, debriefing, analysing the data and applying that to yourself and etc. So
even
you need someone to frame that for you that way there. So you being there and framing it for him that way and giving him that perspective is also important.
Yeah.
I think we all know people that had that regimen and then when they fell out of the game, that necessarily didn't carry them anywhere. So I think it's also important to have someone who can give you that perspective and frame that experience that you've had.
Yeah.
And help them understand where and how it's transferable. Because there's the other side of it, right? You know, he's going to have a long professional career. I'm going to speak it into existence. So there's bare stuff he's not going to do. He's never going to register his own GP. He's, you know, most of the food he's going to eat in his life are going to be cooked by someone else.
But funny enough, I was just going to mention like nutrition. That all starts from like 15.
Wow.
What? They're telling you what you've got to cook for him at home? No,
not necessarily, but they start to like drip feeding like how you should sort of eat, like the amount of protein, hydration.
Before the game, after the game.
Yeah, but I think that's a good thing because again, it's a transferable skill for life.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So we kind of had to, I'm not going to say change our diet. Like it's not like just having amala and jerk chicken and this, that, and the other. So we just had to sort of add more like fish, some more protein.
Yeah.
some more snacks. So
Let's
when
fry
he
you.
was, so basically, you speak to the nutritionist, and the nutritionist asks for a chart of what you eat
Yeah.
for the week.
Mm.
And then I think when my son done it, it was like school, like sausage roll, this,
Steak
that.
bake from
Yeah,
Greg's.
so this, that. So obviously they scanned it and they're like, okay, cool. It's not bad, but we need to make some amendments here.
Mm.
So then they give you like a bit of a guide. They
Yeah.
don't tell you what to eat. They
Yeah.
give you a guide and they give you some examples.
Okay.
And then we kind of went through a period where I'd have to go and buy protein, but I don't like that.
Mm.
You know, buying things and waste, please allow me.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, then kind of had to add more fish to our diet. And like, since we've done that as a family,
Everyone's benefited.
everyone's benefited.
Yeah,
We have like fish
Mm.
3-4 times a week now
Mm.
and stuff like that. So, and there was something else I was going to say. They also help with like the nutritional stuff. So they're given like these protein
Mm.
shakes that they get after games.
Yeah.
They're given like wraps after training and stuff like that. So they're in regards to all that stuff. That's probably something I could have mentioned earlier in regards to like the change thing. So no. They're helpful, man.
Yeah.
I can't. My experience going through the academy, I can't knock it.
Mm.
But you could ask someone else and they could have a totally different experience to the one that we've had.
I agree.
I think
I agree.
it's just, you think it just should be a bit later.
I
Start
would
a little later. That's all.
Start a bit later, just in terms of like, so my experience, my son signed under 9s. I only had one child then.
Yeah.
And then he was going primary school
Mm.
in Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you get to under 11s, you've got to start now looking for a secondary school.
Yeah.
And as much as us parents want to say it, the academy has an effect on the secondary school choice.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's why I think maybe go secondary school and then pick the academy that you want to go to. Because then I've heard of people that have had to move for the academy.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
move. Okay, we want to try. So sometimes you got it like some parents probably even like plan the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. My child is at Academy A. We live here. There's a school there. Okay, let's move there. So we're closer to this school, so we can get them into this school, and then we're closer to the academy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's
And then at
crazy,
the
but
end of it-
I'm not. Back in the day, I would knock that.
Mm.
But now I'm not gonna knock it because
You understand?
let's say their child, but let's say their child makes it.
Yeah.
It's all worth it.
It's all worth it.
And that's like, for me being a young dad, that's the kind of the thing, or my children, should I say, what I kind of struggle with, because like I said, we love football in here, and obviously we're doing this, and like my boys, they barely got any love for it.
Don't worry, it might come still.
But it looked like it's coming like the other
Yeah.
day, and it's just like, and then I think back, like, if that came up, do I go with it or do I just let them have fun? Because sometimes I feel like now I've been around it, and like we were talking last week, it's become a very middle class sport now.
Mm.
And like
Money
we
you gotta
spoke
spend.
about, parents are spending one-on-ones and one-to-one sessions, and they're traveling an hour this direction for a one-to-one session with this coach because he does this type of football. And I'm just like, I just want them to enjoy it. And it's like the other day, my son, for the first time, said, "Oh, let's play football, Dad." I was like, "You want to play football?" I was like, "Oh, come." And I was going to do a whole drill, codes.
You said get the codes out.
Get the codes out. And my son was like, "No, can we just play goal to goal?" I was like, "You know what? Come, then we just play a little match."
Yeah.
And I think he got so
Probably
much
better,
more from that than me trying to teach him to dribble in and out
Yeah.
properly and
Mm.
pass.
I was kind of lucky that my son was in the academy before that.
Yeah.
This new surge of
Yeah,
one-on-ones, this, that, and that. I don't think my son done a one-on-one till he was like 13.
was that you or was that the club that booked him the one-on-one?
Me.
Okay.
But I didn't really see the benefit of it
Mm.
as such. Don't get me wrong. He would go to some group sessions,
Yeah,
but not
one-to-one.
one-to-ones. Again, I'm not knocking
One-to-one.
one-to-ones because
Mm.
I'm sure they have their benefits to
Yeah.
it. But when they're proper young, it's my personal opinion. I think group sessions probably better. Like you've just said, you
Yeah.
probably get
A little bit more.
out of it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like more decisions to make. You can dribble around everyone and just have fun. Do you get what I'm saying? But boy, I would dread for my son to be an 8-year-old now coming through football and me being a parent now, because like you guys just said, it's probably becoming more middle class. Like sometimes when you go to the car parks, you can turn into a car park and you think you're in a first team car park, but you're not. You're actually in
the parents.
car park.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then
And just
you
to
then got to pay
qualify,
one-to-one, pay for the one-to-one training and this.
and just to qualify that whole middle class thing, I guess the part we were trying to make, or I was trying to make, was historically the sports that cost quite a bit for parents to have their kids participate in, have been for the middle class and up because they've got the disposable income to do it.
Formula One.
Your golfs, tennis, all this kind of stuff. Whereas football, you got a ball, you can go and play it.
Yeah.
So that's where that kind of question came from, to say, well, actually, are we heading in a direction now where if you haven't got the money and the time, because again, if you go up the quote unquote ladder, a bit more free time, they've got a bit more latitude with that. If you haven't got the time to get them up,
To get them to training.
get them to all of that, to buy them, boots. I've got to the last time I saw a football boot come out that wasn't £250
Just
for the one-to-one
just to
training,
cut
all
you
of that
there,
stuff.
Yeah, I remember seeing like a parent taking their child to the academy. Training would finish at like 8:30. I'd see them like walking, going to jump on a train, this, that, and the other, and you're like, God knows what time that
Kids
child's
getting
getting
home,
on,
Exactly.
stuff like that. So
Love to make it happen.
And again, like you say, they all sit as part of the sacrifice. But I've got friends again. We've got other friends with young kids. Some of them are doing the one-to-one training. Some of them aren't. Some of them are using it on very specific things. And then when it gets to a certain point, they stop. It's not just a continuous thing. So we were just debating and thinking, if you don't have those resources, is your child at a disadvantage now? Because if everyone else is doing it, and then everyone thinks that if I don't do it, I'll get left behind. So you kind of get this self-fulfilling circle.
I was just about to say that. I think that's the part where, as a parent, you've got to try and stay as strong as you can.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's a must. I'm sure there's kids in academies now
Who's never had one-to-one.
that don't do one-to-ones.
But they just get the game.
Just get,
And they play the game.
Or not even academies. Let's just say any form of football, grassroots, whatever, that are good, that are not doing one-to-ones.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes the one-to-ones is because if I see your child doing it, I think that I've got to do it.
I need to keep
I
it.
know, but your child's doing it. My child don't do it.
Mm.
Oh no, I've got to try and, you get what I'm trying to say? So that's what I mean. You just got to discern, stay strong.
And you'll see his
And
child do
just
something
see.
in the match and you'll be like, oh, he's a bit ahead. Is that because...
That one there. As a parent, that one gets you.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like they can be a favourite. Like, end of the day, we look football. There's always favourites.
Yeah,
it's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say, for example, the favourite's a dribbler.
Yeah.
And the dribbler's getting all the praise. Okay, cool. You fall into the trap of, all right, you got to dribble. Charlie, you got to dribble. Charlie might not be a dribbler though.
Yeah. You got to dribble.
Charlie might be like Xabi Alonso. Can see a pass, can play the pass. Now you're turning Charlie into a dribbler. He's actually losing what he's good at.
Yeah.
But no one's not saying Charlie shouldn't attempt to dribble to try and add something to his game, but you're doing it for the wrong reason. You're trying to get the love and support from the coaches because they're praising the dribbler.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So
it makes loads.
that's another trap that some parents fall into, and then before you know it, you might have
taken something
away from your child, and then they might not get the next contract.
Yeah.
But if you just stayed the way and just worked on what
and trusted
they
the
were good at,
development, the
trusting
plan.
coaches and this, that, and the other, it's cool. But it's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough because we're all human beings in it. You want your child to earn the love
And just kind of
and
touching on
stuff
too,
like
because
that.
in my other role, I do coaching with kids, like life coaching. And I'm hearing them pre-academy. I'm going to get in pre. I'm like, what's a pre-academy? Well, the academy before the academy. And I'm like, huh? And then I'm like, okay. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to work on this and work on that. And I'm just like, just play football, man. Don't worry about it. Just play football. But
I think the football things are mad. I heard there's like, I don't know about you guys, but when I was young, there wasn't trials to get into grassroots.
No.
I heard there's trials now. Certain times you got on a trial.
And you're there for 2-3 weeks.
Accessible to everybody.
Bro. I've got friends who are coaches. They hold tryouts. There's organized trials.
business now.
So, but at what age though?
Bro,
I'm talking like the young.
Yeah, I'm talking under 10s.
9s,
Yeah,
10s.
I'm talking under 10s, under 11s.
Yeah.
Because
That's,
it's
that's
funny,
not right.
I was chatting to my friend and he goes, oh, how come you didn't stay in football coach? I said, at the time when there was no money in football coaching. There weren't no real money. Football coaches were on like 25 a year for a pro club, 25 to 30 a year. Now, academies, I could set up an academy. I'm charging each parent £110 a month or £75 a month to be in the academy to get a nice little tracksuit. And they got to turn up 3 times a week and then I make links with Fulham.
£75 a month sounds cheap. I'm not even going to lie.
Just go and get a Fulham jacket. You're laughing. No, I swear to you. I go to goals, get a Fulham jacket, maybe start talking about transition and pockets of space or what do they call it? Half spaces and this, that, and the other.
Half turn.
Someone will pay you.
Yeah.
Honestly. I swear to you.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's true. It's just interesting to see that kind of industry kind of just build up out of nowhere. But that kid from wherever that just kicked ball with his friends and then started playing Sunday league and has got a bit, they will always make it.
Yeah.
I guess it'll be interesting to see how those who are not those outliers, the middle, right? I think that's going to become a lot about who's got access all the time or their parents have got the resources to maybe bring up their skills a little bit earlier than they would have if they didn't have all that extra help.
Yeah.
I think those, I don't want to call them middle of the run, but you're going to have you're going to have the Joe Coles.
Yeah, of course.
You know, the Madisons, etc.
Regardless of
anything. It doesn't matter. Yeah. They're getting through, fine. Yeah. But the middles, the workhorses, the guys who the coaches say are reliable, guy who might be a captain, I think that group of kids, I think that's where we're going to see maybe you can start telling the difference. That's where that kind of extra help makes a difference, right? They're limited naturally. Definitely. And I think that's where we're going to see that shift. Like if you're in that group and you're not doing that stuff, your kid might fall behind. I think that's just my thinking.
Yeah, no, totally. It's like even me as a parent, what I've said I've learned the past 2 years in regards to like academy football and football in general is off the ball.
Yeah.
Like
You talk about that a lot now.
Yeah, off the ball. I think I blame Klopp, but I respect it as well because it gives you like a more general understanding of football and stuff like that.
And why some players who, when they get the ball, you think they're not very good, that coach, that's not the main reason he's there.
Yeah.
Because without the ball, he's top. His
that's
football IQ is there. His positional,
like,
his blocking
passes.
there.
Talk about Rice, isn't it? Like Rice, this, that, but off the ball, Rice is I was gonna say animal, but is that a bit rude? But,
in a sporting sense, it's positive.
Yeah. Like he's really good and he's good with it. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let's close there. Thanks for coming in.
No
Appreciate
problem.
you coming on.
Thank you.
We'll have you back when there's a few more other guys here because again, I think you have your own views on ball and they're rooted in football, not just tribalism. But yeah, listen, thanks for coming on. All the best to your son.
Thank you very much.
Future, anyway, I'm always checking in and looking out.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll be back next week. As always, please like, share and subscribe. Leave your comments. They're getting better and better every week. And we'll be back soon. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.